Dear Diary, so I don't understand what is happening, and I know I haven't written to you or keyed in an entry in a long time, but let me tell you what happened with my current situation of being a broker and trying to make a living out of selling land. So I have lost 5 deals within a span of 5 months, and it is really becoming a bit crazy and a bit weird. In October, I had a client who wanted 2 acres piece of land, and before him purchasing, he wanted me to do a site visit for him. I usually do site visits for clients who are a bit far from where we are or from where I live. So he paid the necessary fees because I have to pay for transportation costs. I have to pay the owner of the land to allow us view the shamba and take videos. I have to pay my middleman, who's also a native from this area, to go with him to conduct the tour. So, and of course myself. So this client, let me call him client A. Mr. A, it was a he. He paid for the site visit, site tour, which I did. I sent him the videos. He was very pleased with it. He wanted 2 acres piece of land. And we agreed that he was going to come towards the end of October. So as I was waiting, because of course I had a lot on my plate, and this was the first legit client that I had gotten since I started this venture. So as I was waiting for him in the middle of October, I think it was around 16th of October, he WhatsApped me and told me that he wasn't interested in buying the land anymore because he was relocating. He was moving out of the country. So he didn't want the land anymore. And I was like, okay, fair enough. Nice doing business with you. In case maybe you have your friends or family who are interested in land, kindly refer me to them. And of course, I will help them out. So that was the first deal which passed. Then come November, I got another client who wanted to buy land. And mind you, before I get these clients, before somebody actually decides to pay for a site visit, there's usually this query stage where I can take anywhere between 2 to 4 weeks when somebody is still in their decision state. They want to know everything about the land, where it is situated, if there's any town nearby, is the electricity there, is there enough water, how is the soil, is it fit for farming, can somebody rear goats, how is the security, those kind of questions. So there's that back and forth process that we usually go through before somebody decides to either do the site visit or decide to come and buy the land at the end of it all. So in November, I got client number 2, which is Mr. B. Call him Mr. B. He wanted 10 acres of land. So we went through the query phase. Then we moved on to phase 2, which is the site visit. He preferred me doing the site visit for him because he was in Nairobi, he was far. So I conducted a site visit for him. He paid all dues, and I sent him the videos. So it was up to him to make a decision. So the back and forth, later on he decided no. He told me, I don't want to buy the land anymore because it is quite far from where I am, and I prefer to buy land somewhere which is a bit near. So that deal also slipped through my fingers. I was like, it's okay, something else will come up. So come December, and mind you, during these deals I have these other 2 small deals here and there when somebody actually pays for a site visit, but they don't make it to the actual buying. So come December, I came across a couple. They reached out to me. They wanted land. Saw one of my videos and they were like, yeah, we wanted a 1 acre piece of land. So we did the query phase, of course. Then these ones opted to come themselves because they were not staying far. They were in Malindi town. So they drove all the way till here. We met them. I met them with my middleman. We went for the site visits with them. The original piece of land that they wanted, unfortunately, had already been bought. And this is news that I received that morning when they were coming. I didn't tell them because I was like, yo, I will lose this deal. But it was a bit disappointing. So when they arrived, I had to open up and tell them the original video that you saw of that land has already been bought, but there are other options. So we went and viewed them, and then they settled for this one, which was next to the road. The owner of that land had 13 acres in total, and they only wanted one, which was immediately next to the road, along the roadside. So yeah, we talked about it, discussed, and they were like, okay, fine, we like this and we're going to buy this. That was on a Friday. So they were coming on Monday morning, the next week, Monday morning, to make the payment and seal the deal. So yeah, they paid for the site visit, of course, and then they left. So come Saturday morning, the owner of that land, the seller now, gives my middleman a call and tells him he's not interested in selling 1 acre piece from his 13 acres because that 1 acre is the main selling point of the rest of the acres since it is next to the road. So if we get a client, he needs somebody who needs to buy the whole 13 acres. And just like that deal bounced. I was like, yo, what is not happening? Okay, so I had to break the bad news to the buyers, and they were very, very disappointed. And I felt very bad because right now that was my credibility which was on the line, my reputation. We have a willing buyer, but not a willing seller who did not disclose his reasons earlier on. And just like that, deal number 3 went. That is Mr. and Mrs. C. Okay, that was like, okay, fine. Third time is a charm. It wasn't a charm, but maybe the 4th deal is going to go through. So come January, I had Mr. D, who wanted 2 acres of land. He's living in Canada. I believe it's Canada or Switzerland. And he was very interested. I did a site visit for him too. Then we settled on him buying the land by the 3rd of January. He wanted to, his people are not available. So he told me, look, I cannot find my people at this time to come and buy the land for me since I'm out of the country, but I trust you enough. I am going to send you the money. You make the purchase on my behalf, sign the documents on my behalf with his name. And then once I am ready, when I come back to Kenya, I am going to come and pick the documentations from you. So you are my, what can I say? I don't know. Yeah, I'm that person that he has, excuse me, he has entrusted with that responsibility. I was like, yo, that is, I was really humbled because, as you know, it's a faceless channel and people don't get to see me. So he never got to see my face. He just knows my voice and my feet. So for somebody to trust me enough to send me money worth 2 acres was really shocking. But at the same time, it was a good feeling. So we agreed that by 3rd he was going to send me the money. So that comes, and he tells me that his funds were a bit delayed. They had not been released. So let us give it some time. So we have given it time till today, meaning he never came through. He always kept saying that the funds have not been released, but he still wants the land. The funds have not been released, but he still wants the land. So the other day, the land that he wanted, the particular piece that he was interested in, the owner sold it. So I told him that what you wanted has already been taken. In case you want something else, maybe we can work on that now. Then he was like, no, you know what, let us abandon this whole thing, and I will come to deal with it when I come to Kenya during my vacation, which is in May. I was like, okay, that is the fourth deal. That's Mr. D. So what is happening now? Come February, that was just like a week ago, I get another client whom we spoke in January, and he was very much interested. So he made his way. He came last week he came. He called me and told me, he just called me out of the blue, and he wanted a titled piece of land, and he wanted me to send him the soft copy of the title deed so that he can do a search before he comes. So I did just that, of course, with the permission of the owner, and I sent him the title deed. I believe he conducted his search. Then that was on a Monday. Then come Wednesday morning, he called me very early in the morning and told me, yo, I'm in Malindi. I've just landed from Nairobi. I want to come and see the land. I was like, okay, that was very fast. Well, it's okay. Let me organize for transportation for you to bring you here so that you don't get stranded. Yeah, so I gave him a number of my bike guy, picked him up from Malindi, brought him here. We met up with my middleman, went, did the searches, the visit, sorry. We went to a couple of places. He wanted to also view land which doesn't have title deeds. So we started with those ones because they were nearer. When we were done, he had settled for one which was immediately next to the road. It was a 2-acre piece of land which was going for 130k per acre. So he settled for that one. And I remember asking him, I thought you wanted land which has documentation because you were a bit skeptic. But he was like, no. The one which had documentation, according to what we had told him, is a bit far from the road, and he wanted something. It wasn't really for him, for his domestic, living and all that. He wanted something to put up a business on. So land which is next to the road is much more better than land which is away from the road, despite it having a title deed. So you're like, okay, fine, but it's better if you at least go visit and see the titled piece of land first before you make your decision. But he was like, no, let me just settle with this. So that's how the day went. So we agreed that the next day he was coming to make the payment. Excuse me, I don't know why my voice is acting up. He was coming to make the payment, and then he'll be a landowner. So he left. That was on Wednesday. So come Thursday morning, we made preparations with the owner of the land, authorities, the chief, the witnesses, all that, waiting for him. Yo, this guy pulled a no-show. He didn't come. In fact, he didn't even call me. So my middleman kept on, pestering me. Why is he not coming? Just try calling him. I tried calling him. He wasn't picking up at first. Then finally he did. When he picked, basically he talked a lot of crazy things, which honestly I did not understand because I was very anxious and disappointed at the same time. But he was saying that he wasn't comfortable with that land because it doesn't have documentation. Then I told him, okay, fine. That is the reason as to why I was telling you, let us go and visit the other piece of land which has a title. But he was like, no, that one is expensive. It's on the higher side because the title piece was going for 200,000 Kenyan shillings an acre, and he wanted 2 acres. So that would have meant he would have to cough 400k, but it was slightly negotiable. So, but still, I told him, you had that option. Why didn't you take it? It was like, that one was a bit far. I wanted something next to the road, blah, blah. But I told him, you didn't even go and visit and see. You could have at least gone and, looked at how it was and then make your decision. But at that point, I was just fighting a losing battle. he had already made up his mind, but he didn't want to tell me that he had made up his mind. So I kept on asking, are you still coming? Are you still interested or not? And he kept on rambling stuff about, these owners, they should do something about paperwork. It's not good to just buy land like that, blah, 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 blah. At the end of it all, I was losing my cool. I was losing my cool. And I just asked him, look, we are grown-ups, and the customer is always right. So whatever choice you make, it is fine. If you choose not to buy, it is okay. I will respect your decision. So just be honest with me, because I have all these people waiting. The landowner slept knowing that today he was going to have like 260k. The chief left his whatever he was doing just to be at this meeting, and all the witnesses and all that. So kindly just give me a very straight answer, whether it's a yes or a no. Then finally he was like, no, you know what, I don't think I'm going to come. I told him that was very easy for you to say, and I think he had already made his decision the day before, but he just didn't want to say it. That's what I believe. But he still paid for the site visits, which honestly put food on my table for that day, and I was very happy. And I slept very happy knowing that the next day I was going to clock in a deal which was going to make me money, which was going to enable me, do a lot of things, take my kids back to school, continue with the renovations for the house, have some money for food, that kind of thing. But yeah, it also did not go through. That was the most recent one. Trust you me, I haven't recovered. I have not recovered from that ordeal. I don't understand why. Is it because, I know that land is something very spiritual. You don't just wake up one morning and decide, I am going to buy land. For you to buy land, you need to, it's something you have to sit down and think about. First of all, the finances, it's expensive, and the location, you have to consult with your people. It's not just something you wake up in the morning and decide, okay, now I want to buy land. No. So most people usually say that selling land is not easy. It's one of those things that you make a deal, you make a sell, and then stay for some few months, then make another sell, like that. I don't know if that is the situation or there is something deeper in this which I do not understand. But either way, I felt so disappointed. 5 deals have slipped through my fingers within a span of 5 months. I imagined if I had clocked those deals each and every month, I would have been very far, because the commissions were very good. And all these people had agreed to pay me my commission as they pay for the land. And I was very excited, because this is something that I had started, just, it came off guard. It came not as planned, but I just went along with it because that was the only thing that was available for me to do. And it really fit my content, and it fit where I am and all that, my life right now. That is the best, because I'm not employed. I can make my own decisions. It's something that I can do. I love talking to people. So I'm just transferring my office knowledge into this venture that I've started. But turns out things are not working. Things are not working out. And right now I'm in a state of confusion. I don't know how long it's going to take. Maybe it's, before a business picks up, it has to go through those stages of things not going through. Then finally it will clock. Let me just pray and hope for that. In the meantime, I've decided to go into some fasts to open up those ways, because it is a very lucrative business and I would really want to prosper in that one. Maybe it's just not God's timing. Now that is out of my chest and I feel a bit better. Yeah. So let's see how it's going to go, how it's going to work out. I am faithful. Let me not say hope. I am faithful that it will open up eventually. Yeah, I just don't know which day, but faithfully it's going to be soon. Yeah. With love, Mellow.